Coming up on Mountain News at 6, police say they have received an increase in complaints about ATVs on trails in one town. And something rare apparently came through the sky above the mountains overnight.
We're continuing to track not just that, but an increase in showers and storms as we head through the rest of this week. I'm breaking down the latest ahead as Mountain News at 6 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
The city of Whitesburg has received more calls than usual about motor vehicles on trails. WYMT's RJ Johnson spoke with Whitesburg Police Chief Tyrone Fields on why this is not fair to those using the trails.
During the summer months, Whitesburg Police Chief Tyrone Fields says it's not uncommon to receive reports about people using four-wheelers and ATVs along the trail. But he says that this summer, that number of reports has increased.
We've always had complaints during the summer, but it seems like that this year it's really gotten a whole lot worse of people utilizing the tracks and the trails for their use of ATVs, which, of course, that's not what they were designed for.
Fields says despite putting out signs and ordinances in the past, folks are continuing to ignore them.
There's signs that's posted all over, and I don't know, people, they ignore that. Yeah, you know, it's very frustrating to all of us. You know, like I said, those trails were designed for people to get out, to enjoy the scenery, to exercise, to walk, to run. You know, it's family oriented.
He says people should be able to use the trails without being disturbed by those vehicles.
You know, they shouldn't have to worry about, while they're walking with their family or their small children, to see a four-wheeler or a side-by-side or a dirt bike or something like that that's traveling down the trail at a high rate of speed. That's just completely unacceptable.
Field said it's important that if you see something, you should say something. In Whitesburg, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Field says they have increased police presence around the popular areas of the trail. He says fines will be up to $500 with a possibility of the vehicle being seized. You can call Whitesburg Police if you have any information at 606-633-3714. A car theft in Lexington earlier this morning has the owner wondering whether or not social media played a role in the break-in. James Knighton says the vehicle stolen was his son's Hyundai. Just a few months ago, Lexington police said around 30 vehicles were stolen in the month of March, saying those vehicles were mostly Hyundais and Kias. The TikTok trend shows a flaw in newer models of these cars, making them easier to steal.
What they do is they bust this down, and then they take this thing out, and inside of here, right here, they turn it, and it starts the car up.
With the investigation still ongoing, Lexington police have not determined if the TikTok trend is the reason for this theft, but regardless, Knighton says the trend itself is enough to make him never buy this brand of vehicle again. Depending on where you were and the time of the night, you may have seen or heard something in the sky last night. Experts believe it was a meteor, and this time of the year is about the perfect time to see these objects from outer space. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to several college professors about space debris and how common it is to see them light up the sky.
Inside EKU's Hummel Planetarium, there's a projection of what appears to be lots of green dots floating around.
And these represent what are called the Apollo asteroids. These are all asteroids that at some point in their orbit, they come near or they cross the Earth's orbit.
And right in that area,
Dr. Mark Pitt says most of the asteroids are hundreds of thousands or even millions of miles away from Earth. But occasionally, space debris does enter the Earth's orbit.
would be that it would be some type of meteor, but a larger meteor than usual.
Streaking is often one the size of a grain of sand burning up, but sometimes they can get as large as a baseball, and that can lead to a boom.
If nothing else, it kind of brings you psychologically a little bit closer to what's going on up there.
This is a good time of the year to see what's happening, and I am told Middlesboro in southern Kentucky is more ideal to see these spectacular sights. That is where it's said to be low in light pollution. But from now until mid-August, everyone has a good chance of seeing a meteor shower.
So right now, yes, since we are now in the time of the Perseid meteor shower, the chances of seeing meteors are higher than they would be at some other time of the year.
The best time to see meteors is from midnight to 6 a.m. in the northeastern part of the sky. In Madison County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
EKU's Hummel Planetarium is currently closed to the public, but officials there are hoping for donations and updates so they can reopen it to everyone.
Several of the videos there were from eastern Kentucky. That last one was from Buffalo Mountain here in Perry County from our transmitter site up there. And yeah, I heard it too. I was actually in bed about 2 o'clock in the morning and I heard something that sounded like somebody slamming the door downstairs. I live alone, so that was a little creepy, but then we figured it out. It was the meteor moving overhead. So unique celestial phenomena out there last night. It's been mild today. Look at this. High temperatures are in the low 80s in many locations. That's unusual for this time of year. We're usually at least a few degrees warmer, so I hope you got out and enjoyed that. The clouds did their job today, even though we have some sunshine out there now on our Pikeville Medical Center camera. Temperatures falling into the upper 70s already at this hour. I think we'll be in the 60s as we head through tonight. It is muggy, though, so not much past about 65 for the overnight low. We've been following a couple of downpours, one finally pushing out of Dickinson County. We'll maybe skirt far southern Buchanan County over the next little bit. Your forecast first through the next 12 hours. Those showers arrive overnight. Middle and upper 60s for those lows. Steve, I'll have the latest on when perhaps some heavier rain moves in a few minutes.
All right, Evan, thank you. Folks in Louisa are getting a bit of a new experience. A movie is being filmed in their town. The movie is an independent film called Ghosts of the Big Sandy. It was originally a book that actually does take place in different areas of Louisa. The mayor of Louisa, Harold Sloan's wife, Marcia, is a producer and said the project felt important for the community.
I want it to represent our whole area because I feel like there is a lot of stereotypes for people in Appalachia, and this movie is just going to be a really beautiful story for people to watch.
The movie will wrap filming this month and begin the 6-month editing process after that. WYMT's Madison Carmouche will have much more about this tonight at 11. Kentucky became the 38th state to legalize sports betting as the legislature passed the law in March. Now retail sports betting will go live in just a few weeks after the Kentucky Horse Racing Commission announced regulations. It will open during the NFL kickoff game on September 7th, and online sports betting will roll out a few weeks later on September 28th. State law allows up to 30 Kentucky betting apps and websites to launch.
For the last few years, a lot of our discretional spending has left the state, and we are now going to retain that. And not only that, we have things that other states don't have, which we have live horse racing, we have the best bourbon in the world.
Kentucky will allow sports betting for 18-year-olds, whereas some other states require bettors to be 21 or older. School and sports can sometimes go hand in hand. Both can require a visit to your family physician. As summer slowly comes to a close, appointments may be filling up. Fall sports are already underway at some schools in Kentucky, prompting many people to book an appointment with their doctor.
We do expect an uptake, and usually around July, especially August, there is a surge of back-to-school physicals, which is typical, I think, a lot of pediatric clinics right now.
Doctors say it's also important to get back into your regular routine and to be healthy at the start of the school year. Having sensory processing issues can make doing everyday activities like driving a car or going to the store that much more stressful. Your local Walmart may now be offering sensory-friendly hours to make a more comforting environment for those with sensory issues. The Whitesburg Walmart is taking part by dimming their lights and shutting off the music during those hours.
Yeah, it's been nothing but positive so far, and this is a great opportunity for us to even get the word out there, because I still think there's a lot of people that's not aware of it right now that should be, And so this will be great to get the word out there.
The sensory-friendly hours in Whitesburg are every Saturday from 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. and runs through the end of August. Our Keaton Hall will have more about this tonight at 11.
Well, showers and storms continue to increase through the week, plus a sneak peek at the weekend forecast after this. Plus,
the 30th edition of One Eastern Kentucky Music Festival is just getting underway. And one mother-daughter duo in Pike County is looking to help a horse in need.
WYMT News app offers